everybody, it's the fastest day of the week, qualifying Saturday, and we're here in Abu Dhabi.
Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome to the final of my F1 24 career mode. And in this season closer, we have 3 drivers that can win the title. Leclerc leads, 3 points to me, and 4 points to Russell. One of the 3 of us could take the crowning glory here at Abu Dhabi. So, it all comes down to this. And so far, in qualifying, our lap looks pretty good. Is it going to be enough to get us through Q1 in this ever-critical qualifying session? The answer, of course, is yes. P7, that should do for now. It ends up being P9, and we've got a bit of time to find. Hulkenberg quite significantly behind us. Again, thank you for nothing, you useless reptile. Anyway, Q2, fastest in the mid-sector, and really pushing. I want this championship. It looked impossible after a certain point. After Austin, it was looking like we were down and out. But here, we're really going for it. And just 3 points stands between us and taking it. And we're through Q2 as well. So into the critical part of qualifying. Russell taking the fastest time in Q2. But look at Enzo Fittipaldi up there in P2. Also commiserating the fact that Hulkenberg is out. So I'm going to have little to no help from my teammate to go for the championship. This is all me. Oof, going a bit wide there after setting the fastest time in the middle sector. We're particularly strong there. And now it's all down to this final sector. It's all down to nailing this, and I don't think we've quite nailed that. But now we're heading to the final 2 corners. Where are we going to be? Clipping the apexes nicely. On the way out, straighten the car up. It's P6. It's P6. That is just... No, it becomes P7. But with Russell in 2nd and Leclerc in 4th, that is not good enough. And we are 7 tenths off, so we've got it all to find in race day. And a lot of work to do.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates, on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 16 corners here at Yas Marina Circuit, 17. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Fittipaldi, Sunshine, Hamilton, Stroll, Behrman, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Joe, Perez, Albon, Verstappen, Théo Pourchaire, Vesti, Sainz, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. I don't know about you, Ant, but it seems like only a couple of weeks ago we were talking ahead of the first race. Here we are ahead of the last race. This year has just flown by.
Yep.
29 laps to crown a champion. So let's crown a champion for the final time. We are underway in Abu Dhabi, and it's an okay start by us. I'm looking to the inside, see if we can get past anybody. Down the inside of Fittipaldi we go. Nope, there's contact. There's contact again. We nearly spin. Through goes Hamilton. And on our right, someone else, I think it's Ollie Behrman, is having a look. No, it's Lance Stroll, I do beg your pardon. And Stroll is through. Stroll moving up into P7. A disaster start with Ollie Bearman now going around the outside. He's trying to take P8. That is a very bad start and not what we needed to try and get this championship. P8 is where we're at, and that is simply not good enough. However, we're draining the battery on the straight. I'm having to take a risk now, and we're taking a big one by diving up the inside along Stroll and moving into P7. Lap 2, Lewis Hamilton dead ahead, and it's critical that we get ahead of him and get ahead of him quickly as we head on to the straight. Lance Stroll still right behind me, as is Ollie Bearman, and they're going to be waiting to punish me for any potential errors here. However, we're gaining on Hamilton. He goes to defend. Round the outside we go, up into P6. So, moving up already. George Russell in P1, however, he is checked out. So as things stand, George Russell would be champion. Charles Leclerc needs to move forwards from P4, and I need to move forwards from P6 as I nearly go into the back of Fittipaldi, having completely outbraked myself, and desperation just beginning to creep in a little bit here because we need to find something a bit more. I'm moving across to prevent Lewis Hamilton having a go. Hamilton not able to have a go, but Piastri and Norris are having a big battle. This could help us out. This could really help us move forwards. Now we've got Fittipaldi to overtake. He goes defensive, but there's no room to get through there as Fittipaldi turns defending into attacking Charles Leclerc. So more bad news for Leclerc. He could potentially lose out to Fittipaldi. And you know what? Does he lose out? I'm not sure. I'm trying to wait and see who's got the better run. It's Fittipaldi who gets through. Leclerc is compromised. I forced my way into P5, and it's rotten luck for Charles Leclerc, who now drops to P6, and his championship campaign is going up in smoke. But we're now falling behind out of DRS, and Leclerc is coming back at me, and Leclerc's getting back past me. So Charles Leclerc moving back into P5, trying to salvage a championship campaign that is going horribly wrong. George Russell, though, it's all going his way at the moment. However, we are only 4 laps into this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with a long way to go and a lot of racing to go. Trying to catch up with Charles Leclerc. We're catching on the straight. Do we risk it here? Yes, we do. Down the inside. Is it enough to get through? Answer, yes it is. But Charles Leclerc will have DRS on me this time, and I'm trying to use overtake to get further ahead, but that's not going to work for us because Leclerc just comes back through on the second DRS point. And at this stage, it becomes now racing for second in the championship rather than the championship win, because Russell, like I said, he is gone. He is checked out. And at the moment, we're just following Leclerc. I'm hoping he can start bringing me and dragging me along to Fittipaldi and co. But that's just not happening on lap 8 of 29. However, there's still a long way to go left in this race. And that's Charles Leclerc spinning! Leclerc has gone round! And he throws his championship campaign away all the more. And we have a red flag because he has caused a traffic jam. That becomes something of a saviour for him, but also us, because now the whole field is backed up again. We're all together. One final stint then for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. No more pit stops required. Everybody on the hard tyre. Let's see what we can do. We're underway here. And look at Leclerc. Despite causing that red flag, he gets a massive launch off the start there. Moving up into P5. And he's even challenging Oscar Piastri. I was trying to stick my nose up the inside there, but no way through. Right, the critical thing now is getting past not only Leclerc, but forcing our way past Piastri too. And we've got past Leclerc. Now we set sights on Oscar Piastri for P4. It's not all over yet, but we've still got to really push for it now if we're going to have any shot at doing this. Russell leads, Lando Norris in second, and the question is, can Russell make the big getaway again, or will Lando Norris keep him honest to the end? You know what? For us, what we need is Lando Norris to fight him. Right, Piastri and Fittipaldi dead ahead. This is going to have to be a risky overtake. I'm going to have to try and dive them. I've gone for Piastri. Can we get Fittipaldi too? Yes, we do. We are past the pair of them here. And that was a move that we needed to make. We had to take a risk to get ourselves into position. And we made it work with a superb overtake to move us into third. But now the mission becomes to try and catch up with Russell and Norris. I need them to fight. And one thing they're not really doing right now is fighting. They've got a 3 seconds clear. Charles Leclerc has also got clear of Fittipaldi. But those two had a battle for about pretty much a whole lap. And that kept them side by side, which is why they're now so far behind. But honestly, we're making no real inroads to Norris and Russell. If anything, I'm having to push hard to keep Oscar Piastri behind me, because he is about half a second behind where he has been for the last few laps or so. But Russell and Norris both 3 seconds ahead of me. Unless they start battling, this is all going into George Russell's hands. Lap 25. I am actually catching them a little bit now, because Russell 2.6 ahead. So we've gained about half a second. And look at this. This is Lando Norris. He's now battling Russell. He's trying to take the lead. And Lando Norris now takes the lead. He is not helping his friend secure the championship. He is going for the race win. And Fittipaldi and Leclerc having their own battle again and losing time for that. Lap 26, Russell retakes the lead here, and now we're ever closer though. So it's a matter of now, if they start battling, we are right there and ready to pick up the spoils. And there are 3 laps to go, so this is it. If I want this championship, it's got to be all out. Nothing on the table. And Piastri is still lurking there. He could still potentially ruin my day. 2 laps to go. We are finally within their DRS now. But George Russell is still in championship position. So, we need to catch them both and potentially pass them both. Norris is very close going onto the straight though. But we've both got DRS. Nothing in doing on that lap. But look how close it is between the front 3 as I use all the road and perhaps a little bit more as we begin the final lap of this championship, of this career mode. It all comes down to this. One final racing lap to decide it, and I've got to get a move on. I've somehow got to pass Norris on the first straight and then try and find a way past Russell on the second. Oh, it's such a tall order going into this final lap. And you know what? I could do with being a bit closer to Norris, but I'm just not. And that is not how far back I want to be. Giving it everything, taking the apex. We're not close enough to Norris. And I'm starting to get that sinking feeling as the championship from our side could be over. But Russell's having to defend. Lando Norris is going for the race lead. Norris is taking the race lead. And Russell's off the corner wrong. It all comes down to this now because Russell is right there. Can I get a run on George Russell for P2 to put myself in championship position? Yes! We have DRS and we've got past George Russell before the braking spot for the corner. And George Russell, who started the final lap in championship position, leading the race, drops to P3. He drops the position to Lando Norris. But more critically than that, he dropped the position to me. And that puts me in championship position. Lando Norris is going to win the race. But we're going to emerge champion of the world, finishing in P2. And that was enough to do it. What a finale. What a final lap. I can't believe it. World champion in the final race, doing it for Haas. Oh, wow.
Norris, take a bow, and last, a winner in Formula One.
They've won the championship and now they sign off in style as winning the last race of the season as well. Brilliant stuff by this driver today, and you carry that momentum through to next year as well, of course. So it's for all now to try and stop what they've created.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. So that celebrates the end of the season, but I know a lot of you will be very sad out there thinking, what are you going to do without Formula One? Don't worry, folks, it'll be back before you know it. We'll see you next year.
I can't believe it. I can't believe we took that on the final lap. The run we had in the last few races to make that possible. And in the last lap, we take the championship. Commiserations to Russell and Leclerc, but I'm so happy with that. The final race then finishes as Norris, myself, Russell, Piastri, Fittipaldi, Leclerc, Stroll, Hamilton, Gasly and Behrman, and there is confirmation that we are champion by 4 points to Russell and 7 to Leclerc. In the end, the top 3 finish within 10 points and Norris within a race win. That is how close this final season has ended. And what a final it is. We did not lead this championship at any stage of the championship up until the final race. Piastri ends up 5th, Stroll 6th, Fittipaldi 7th, Verstappen 8th, Hamilton and Gasly 9th and 10th, Hülkenberg just outside the top 10 and 11th, Tsunoda 12th, Perez 13th and Oliver Behrman is 14th. Just again, you know, it's weird to think we didn't lead this championship up until the final race. But that's where it's important. It doesn't matter if you lead the championship in round 1. It's where you finish at the final round. Sainz is 15th, Zhou is 16th, Albon 17th, Vesti 18th, and the last of the point scorers with Ocon and Pourchaire not able to score a championship point. And in the Constructors, McLaren win with Mercedes 2nd, Ferrari a 3rd, Haas grab 4th, Aston Martin 5th, Red Bull down in 6th after a shocking season, Racing Bulls are 7th, Alpine 8th, Kick Sauber 9th, with Williams rounding out every team. I can't quite believe... I feel like Sebastian Vettel in 2010. He did not lead the championship for a single race then, up until the final. But again, it's not where you are after round 1, it's where you are at the final round. What a run. Thank you for watching my F1 24 career mode. This is the conclusion. F1 25 career mode will begin soon. Until then, thank you for watching. TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care, enjoy the rest of your day.